Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to be reacting to some scary animations. Now, I am K-Dongo. Make sure you subscribe. If you don't, then you're slow. Just, what's the point of not subscribing? Like, it's free. So, like, what's the point of not doing it? You're kind of weird if you don't. You also need to hit that notification bell so you get notifications every time I post a new video, so you don't miss one. You need to be early to these. You can even type first if you want to do that. Oh, and like the video and share it with your friends, please. Sync. What's good? Welcome to my first ever YouTube video on this channel. Today we are going to be reacting to some Halloween horror stories, 3 to be exact. And by the way, like the video, you know, if you don't walk up to it and say, I like your cut, G, and then smack it upside the head, you just gotta do whatever you want. Share the video to your friends so, you know, they can enjoy this too. 3 Halloween horror stories is what we're reacting to. Sorry if I didn't tell you that. Yeah, let's get right into it.
Absolutely used to love Halloween. Not only dressing up as my favorite scary character,
Why do they look like that?
Making horror-themed food, or putting up decorations. No, I loved the atmosphere that filled our neighborhood as it changed from its boring demeanor
Why you got that Johnny
into
Bravo cut?
something horrifying and exciting. My neighbor and best friend, Mark, was an even bigger fanatic
That's Michael
than
Myers, bro.
myself.
What is that?
Each year, he'd try to make the best costume or
That ain't a
scariest
costume.
decoration. But despite our best efforts at becoming the Halloween kings, we could never match up to Mr. Black. Mr. Black
What kind of name
was a
is that?
man of advancing age. He'd been widowed about a decade earlier, left behind by a vicious, evil wife that treated the entire neighborhood like crap.
That's
The only thing she ever loved was Halloween, and she'd make damn sure all the attention was directed at herself each year on October 31st.
That's pretty nice.
When she
you know?
died,
Pretty
I
nice.
almost felt relieved for the poor man.
She died?
Still,
That's...
for reasons beyond my
Oh, well, he's probably
comprehension,
happy about it. I mean,
he
his wife
decided to keep his
left him.
abusive
That's...
wife's tradition alive.
She deserved it.
Each year, he'd come up with the most gruesome display of nightmare-inducing decoration. His
He a
entire
whole
house
serial
would be
killer.
transformed
Hide
into
your cereal.
one of
Hide your
absolute
children.
mind-bending horror.
No, he
He'd
ain't
build
playing
a
games. That's
pool
real
of
blood, bro.
in
That ain't
his
no
garden,
ketchup.
or he'd cover the entire house with cobwebs, unleashing a horde of spiders just to prove that he could. It was as beautiful as it was disgusting. How he constantly managed to outdo himself brought great joy to the rest of the neighborhood.
He needs some help.
Unfortunately,
Y'all should
Mark
not be in his
couldn't
house.
stand it.
Mark,
He's a
it's
damn
okay.
attention seeker. Always has to be in the spotlight every Halloween. For years, Mark had tried to outdo
Why is he
Mr.
talking
Black.
about his friend like that?
He'd spent thousands of dollars in preparation,
Thousands?
planning for months ahead of time.
You're
only
not
to
beating
be
him.
blown
This man
out
has
of the
arms
water
on the
by
floor
Mr. Black.
and blood all around his house. You're not
What
beating
was
him.
even weirder was that each time it would take Mr. Black only a day to set everything up, which enraged Mark
That's kinda
beyond
weird. How you
anything
gonna-
else in life.
Ah, bro, my
In
spidey sense is
2017,
tingling.
Mark even resorted to renting.
Bro.
Even weirder
Y'all
was
hear
that
that?
each time
Y'all hear that
it
FNAF
would take
scream?
Mr. Black only a day to set
Is
everything
Freddy Fazbear
up,
in there?
which enraged Mark beyond
to it, listen to it.
anything
Hold on.
else in life. In 2017, Mark even resorted to renting animatronics that resembled crawling
Why didn't I listen to it? It said he was renting animatronics. Here I am thinking it's some Easter.
corpses. He littered his yard
Alright.
with the things, letting
Wow.
them scream and pull themselves around.
Those are
He was so
scary.
confident
They look
that
like
And
Slim
even
Jims
as the
though,
30th
but
of October rolled around, Mr. Black still hadn't put up any decorations.
why?
When we went to work the next day, on Halloween itself, Mark was beyond himself with joy.
He killed him.
He'd finally done it.
He killed
and
him.
he just wouldn't shut up about it. It wasn't until
He's a
we
serial
got
killer.
home later that day before we saw the horrors taking place in Mr. Black's front yard.
Mr. Black's front yard.
In the span of 8 hours, he turned it into a literal graveyard.
Okay, so you're telling me it took him 8 hours to make his whole front yard a graveyard?
Muffled screams were coming up from the
Muffled
ground
screams?
with bells that were attached to strings leading into buried coffins. They rang as people gathered around in awe from the sight.
How?
Those brave enough to traverse his yard were invited inside for a
No,
tour.
why would y'all walk in?
Mark
Y'all
and
gonna
I
die.
joined
That's like,
and quickly realized that Mark's pathetic animatronics were nothing in comparison, because inside
Wow.
the living room, Mr. Black had created a makeshift morgue, full on with
Morgue?
mortuary refrigerators that rumbled around as if people were trapped
yo,
inside.
that dude,
Mark was
he a serial killer.
pissed. He couldn't believe it, and to be fair, neither could I. He swore then that he'd figure out how the hell Mr. Black managed to pull off these incredible feats each and every year at such an advanced
He's
age
just different.
and without any help. How does he do
Feel
it?
like him, man.
Have you ever seen any trucks or workmen outside his house?
Nope.
Mark asked. I chuckled. Nah, but come on. He's retired. He probably gets it done while we're at work. Still, Mark didn't believe it. That
Mark's
guy's up
probably
to
right.
something. Next year, I'm gonna stay at home and figure it out. A year passed, and Mark actually remained true to his word.
Oh, nice.
On the
Okay, I
31st
see.
of October, 2018,
True to his word.
he called in sick to work.
Patient.
I sighed once I found out, surprised at how seriously he was taking it.
He
Then,
really likes
at
Halloween.
around noon, I got a frantic and excited voice message from Mark. I knew it. I freaking knew it. You won't believe what I just found. Mr. Black is a depraved monster. I'm going to call the... The voice message was cut short, so I tried to call back.
What?
No response.
A depraved monster?
After the fifth or so missed call, I started to get worried. There was absolutely no way Mark would have given me any peace if he'd truly found something.
He did.
But no matter how many times
Mr.
I
Black
tried
killed
to
your
call
Mark,
him,
man.
I just
Killed
got
your
a
friend.
busy signal. By the end of the workday, I was truly scared for Mark.
I would be too.
Mark was never that silent. I needed to figure out what was going on.
He
As
possessed.
soon as I returned home, I went over to Mark's place, where I proceeded to hammer on his door.
Mr. Black's gonna be
His
in there.
wife
He gonna be
was
like,
the
what's
one
up,
to
little
answer,
kitty? His
and
wife.
She too seemed worried.
Didn't she die?
Elise, is Mark here? She frowned.
Oh, probably got a
He
new
went
wife.
out to run
Oh,
some
wait, that's
errands
Mark's
a few
wife.
hours
That's
ago,
Mark's
but
wife. My bad.
I haven't heard from him since. I
thought
thought
that
maybe
was-
his phone died, but he should have been back home by now. Mark hadn't told
Mr.
her
Black killed
about
him.
his plan to investigate
Mr. Black killed him.
Black,
Call
mostly
the cops.
because she would have been pissed.
He's the imposter.
But I had to come clean. If he was truly missing, we needed
really
to call
went.
the police. While Elise explained the situation to the cops, I went over to talk to Mr. Black myself.
Okay. Why would you go?
It was
Okay,
already...
Listen. If your friend disappears because they're planning to spy on someone that can set up a whole graveyard, repair their whole house like they're Bob the Builder, reframe the whole house in 8 hours, and once your friend is starting to get a hang on it and he found out Mr. Black is a depraved monster, he goes missing and he's not home, and you want to go to Mr. Black's house. I would have moved to Mexico.
getting late. Both children and adults had gathered in front of his house, ready for the yearly tour of
Yeah,
horror.
let's see this yearly
That year,
tour of horror.
his yard had been turned into a field of tall grass.
Okay, listen. Listen. If he doesn't set up any preparations, alright, He don't do anything. And in only a few hours set up this. How did he get a whole corn maze in front of his yard? But you still want to go to his house.
We
Your friend
see
dead,
his
man.
front
I don't
door.
know how you still...
All we could see amid the field were makeshift scarecrows.
They ain't makeshift. They're real
Mr. Black
people.
hadn't let anything go to waste. As we entered
They're
his
real
yard,
people, bro.
the air filled with the stench of rotting flesh.
I'm telling you, they're
It
real
wasn't
people.
unusual for him to utilize all 5 senses, but this was extreme. Mr. Black, do you have a moment? I asked. In a minute, old friend. After the tour. He just shouted
They're real
back
people,
as
bro.
he led the people inside his home. I remained outside, disturbed by the odd smell. I moved some of the grass apart to inspect the scarecrows.
They're
were
not
horrifying,
scarecrows.
covered in old rags with
They're real
bits and
humans.
pieces of skin
They're
visible
real
through
humans.
the holes.
They're real
They didn't
humans.
even look like props.
They're real humans.
After a moment of hesitation, I reached out to pull off the scarecrow's mask. What I saw
They're real
sent
humans.
me falling to the ground in shock.
I knew
The
it. I knew it.
scarecrow wasn't a prop,
I knew it.
nor a doll.
It was Mark.
an actual corpse.
Oh, that's not Mark?
Oh, God.
Well, it's a real human.
was all
I
I
told you.
managed to get out as
I
I
told you. I
stared
told
at
you, man.
the decomposing body. Once I'd partially...
Alright, first of all, if you see this is a literal skeleton with rags on his body with his teeth. Teeth? His teeth. Alright, listen. I don't care how badly this man wants to win a Halloween thing. He wants to be most popular in town or whatever. You're really putting real people out in your front yard.
senses.
This
I
is
started
a
checking
long
the
video.
other
I see that,
scarecrows.
man. Dang.
Most of them were beyond rotten skeletal corpses that had perished long ago. But
That's Mark.
once
That's
I
Mark.
reached
That's
the
Mark.
last
That's
one,
Mark.
I immediately recognized the clothes.
Yup.
With a trembling hand, I reached to take off the mask. It was Mark.
I knew it. I
His
knew it.
throat had been slit,
I knew
and
it.
he'd been turned into a flesh-filled scarecrow.
Yup.
I stood before the body of my former best friend.
Don't
in
keep
shock.
standing there. Don't keep standing there. They're
All
gonna look
these
at you. They're
years,
gonna think
Mr.
you're the
Black
imposter,
had
man.
created what seemed like impossibly
Why were you staring at
realistic
the body?
decorations. It had all been real.
Yep, I
The
told you.
blood, the cadavers, the screaming.
I told you the blood was
We'd
there at the
all
start.
been oblivious to it. The police arrived shortly after, alerted by Mark's wife.
Is that the Daredevil? I don't know if that's just me. Why is he dressed like the Daredevil?
They quickly stormed the house and escorted all the guests outside, but Mr. Black himself was gone. He
What?
was never seen again. I don't celebrate Halloween anymore, nor does anyone else in my neighborhood. For us, the 31st of October is just a painful memory of what we let happen under our noses.
Yeah.
But
Sure
if
is.
you see a new neighbor with decorations that just seem a tad too realistic, stay away from them.
Yeah. If I see that man, you getting cops called on you, man. Cause I'm not trying to throw hands at you. You gonna walk up to me with some scarecrow decorations, dress me up as an animatronic or something.
It might be Mr. Black.
He must be on some animatronic. Listen, I'm sorry. That was only one story animation. This is too long. But hey, that's good enough, right? This is from my first video, okay? 15-minute video. That should be well enough. I'll see you all next time. Wait. Did you subscribe? Be real right now. Did you subscribe? Or are you lying to me? Stop the cap. Go subscribe right now. Go subscribe. If you don't, I'm gonna send some animatronics after you. Peace.